Hello, we're looking at Excel Module 3, how to complete this project. We have a worksheet where a salesperson is trying to calculate the commission and then also trying to estimate commission. And so what we're going to do, start by removing these panes here. So you can remove these panes in a number of ways. Either you can double click on them, that should go away, or you can go to view, and then you have the split here. You can click on the split option once, so that should remove the split. There you go. And then you see the entire worksheet now, and then you can see that we have different months. Trying to do the Sparkline graph here, and then the total for each types of vehicle, and then total for each month, and then we are looking at commissions. Okay, calculating commissions for 6 months. First, we're going to freeze row 1 and 2. We're going to freeze row 1 and 2. These two rows we're going to freeze. So to freeze row 1 and 2, what you can do is you can select the cell after, that is third row, any cell on the third row, and then we want to freeze the first and second row. So I'm going to select A3, and then you go to review. Actually, it should be right here in the freeze panes. You can see that it enables now. So I'm going to click freeze panes and then freeze panes. Now, since you make sure you have your cell A3 selected, and then select freeze panes. Now this, when you scroll down, you see that first two rows is frozen. Okay, so if you got it wrong, or if you want to undo this, you can always go back and to freeze panes here. You can click anywhere here and then select unfreeze panes. That should undo it. All right, now you have two rows frozen there, and then we're going to change the width of column A. I'm going to right click on the column width and then select column width, and then change this to 31. So changing the width of column A to 31 so that we can see this, set this up more clearly. And then select the range B4 to D4. B4 is here, B4 to D4, and then we're going to fill to the rest. So here you have January, February, March, and then once you have January, February, March, you can just select just March and then fill it. It should still fill. Okay, so if I drag the fill handle here, it should fill April, May, June. And this point, at this cell here, we're going to create what is called a Sparkline graph, which is a graph within a cell. So to do this, you go to Insert, and then there is an option called Sparkline. So we're going to create a column Sparklines. I'm going to select, there are three options there: line, column, win and lose. We're going to select column Sparkline. And it's asking for the data range. Data range is going to be from January to June. And the location range is already selected, which is H5. That's where we want our Sparkline to be placed. And then you click OK. So you have your Sparkline. Once you have done one, you can fill the rest, just like that. Okay, so you can fill the rest. So you can see that this column looks odd because this we can copy over the formatting from here to here. So that can be done. So what we're going to do here now, we're going to do that in a while. All right, so to do that, we will select G5 to G9 and then use Format Painter here. So Format Painter is a great tool. It uses the selection and use the formatting in that selection to use it allows you to apply the same format in one area from one area to another area. So once you select this, you go and apply it. Just make sure you select one row and then that should apply. Okay, so let's do that one more time. So you select the range, click Format Painter, go and select H5. That should apply the formatting for all. There you go. So let's go and copy the contents this January, February, March, April, May, June. I'm going to copy this and then paste it over to this table here. So let's highlight, copy, let me do that one more time. I'm just going to select this, highlight, copy, and then paste it over there. All right. Moving on to step number 8. Apply percentage number with 0 decimal places to the range B13 to G13. B13 is right over here to G13. Okay, so we're going to apply percentage number and then the non-adjacent B33. So we're going to apply percentage format to this one and this one over here. So we can do that together. So you start by selecting this range. These are adjacent set of values. Then you press and hold the control key in your keyboard and then select B33. So then I'll release the control key and then once you have selected like this, so once you release all the keys in the keyboard, it should look like this, and then you're going to go and apply percentage format. So you apply percentage format which has 0 decimal places. All right, so now we are going to merge the range A15 to A27. This range is already merged. So we are going to select this range and then turn this, because you are unable to see this clearly, so we're going to turn this 90 degrees. So to turn this, you can use this option here. So you select this range and then you go over here and then you can select 90 degrees, rotate text up. So that should be 90 degrees. If you want a bit of more control over this, you can say format cell alignment. That's going to bring you this option, and then you can roll this or turn this dial to 90 and then click OK. So that should give you something like that. So we have this stacked column chart. So you can see that this is called a stacked column chart. Now let's get rid of these zeros over here. So what we want to do is we're going to first add months as the axis title here and then sales amount. And then we also want to get rid of 00 here. It's not necessary. We can keep it, reduce the decimal places here to 0. It'll look better. So we're going to start by adding the axis. So to do that, you select the graph, make sure the graph is selected, you have these handles showing, and then you go and click on this plus button. This allows you to add elements to your chart. So I'm going to select chart title which is already added, but we want is axis title. I'm gonna check this axis title, so it adds both the axis title. You can see that we have one over here. I'm gonna change this to month, and then this one I'm gonna change this to as required sales amount. So once that is done, the next step, we are going to go and change this axis here, right? So we're going to go and change these, yeah. Right click on that to make the changes, right click on it and then select format axis. So that's going to give you an option on the side here. So we are going to go and collapse this axis option, and then we are going to expand the number option, right? And then we are going to reduce or change first the accounting, the category to accounting style, and then reduce the decimal numbers to 0. So once you're done that, you're all done. So here you can see that the 0 decimal places, and then you see the $ in front is in accounting format. It's all set. All right, so if you want, you can close this pane here, and then the next one is 3D pie chart. So in the 3D pie chart, let's go ahead and make some changes to the style. So we're going to apply style 1. So if you click on this paintbrush button here, these are styles. So you'll see it only when you have the chart selected, and then click on the paintbrush and then select chart style 1, which should be the very first one here. Let's go ahead and click on this. So that changes this chart style and then moves the legend a bit, and then it gives you a 3D chart without any labels on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and add the labels. To add the labels, you can use the chart elements button here, and then you can select data labels. Don't check on this as yet. So you're going to go and click on this arrow. That will give you more option, and then we are going to select outside end style. So that would place it outside the chart, just like that. Okay, so we have done the first few things here, and then let's go to the next one. Here we are going to calculate the gross amount. So now this is how this is calculated. Is like this. So this salesperson, if the total sales per month is greater than 400,000, then the commission is gonna be 25. It's gonna be 2.5%. Otherwise, if it is less, then it's gonna be 1.5%. All right. So that's how we are going to calculate the commission. So to do this, we use an if condition. So if this is a new function here, if the value here, which is this one, is greater than. So if it is greater than 400,000, we're going to type that in, 400,000, then the commission is going to be B9 times 0.025, or it will be B9 times 0.015. All right, so what this does is this. So if the value in B9, which is the total for that month. If the value in B9 is greater than 400,000, okay, then the commission is calculated by multiplying the value by 2.5%, which is 0.025. So if the sales is greater than 400,000, then you get 2.5% commission. If it is less than 400,000, it's 1.5%. So this is to encourage salespeople to do more sales. So there is different commission rates depending on the band or the range you're falling in, the total amount of sales you made. All right, so this would give you a commission of $10,918. Now you can simply fill this to the rest of the months, so that should work fine. It's going to use the values given here, and then you can see that for this it's considerably low because it's less than 400,000, so the commission is going to be 1.5%. okay, same for here, and then this one goes up again. So significant reduction in the commission, right? So the net amount is going to be the percentage. So let's say there is certain amount of money that is going for taken off as taxes and things like that. So let's say the net amount that person gets there is 85%. So to do this calculation, you can start with the equal sign, select the January commission, and then you can multiply that by 85%. So this gives you a net commission of 9,280. Now, if you fill this to the right, let's see what happens. We have a problem here. If you fill this to the right, it does not actually give you the right value. The reason for that is, you can find out the reason by just double clicking on this. You can see that it's taking D31, which is gross amount, which is correct, multiplied by D33, which is this one, okay, where there is nothing. So it's multiplying the value by D33. It's taking that as 0, so you get a 0 commission, which is incorrect. That's not what we want. So this happens when you fill the value from one location to another location, because you're using an absolute reference to the cell here for B33. I'm sorry, relative reference to the cell B33. What happens is that when you copy over, it's going to change that relative reference based on where you copy that formula. So when you copy it over here, in relation to where you copy, it changes this cell. So if you want to avoid this, what you can do is you need to give this as an absolute reference, the B33. So to do this, you put a dollar sign in front of B and dollar sign in front of 33. So B is your column, 33 is the row. So you're telling Excel, do not change this reference, absolute reference. So it becomes an absolute reference. So when you fill it as an absolute reference, Excel does not change it. So you can see that it's still pointing to that B33 value. It's not changing it to G33 as it was doing before. So that's called an absolute reference. So G31 here is a relative reference. Dollar sign B, dollar sign 33 there is an absolute reference. Okay, it doesn't change wherever you copy it. All right, so let's go and add the trend here. So here we're going to add another Sparkline. So Sparkline, you can simply, as we have done that before, we go say insert, and we're going to add a column Sparkline, and the range is going to be this range, H31 is where I want it. Click OK. There's something wrong there. Let's do that one more time. So let's go back, insert, column Sparkline, data range, select the data range, and then click OK. There you go. Now you can fill it below, should work fine. Now you can see that as you fill below, it copies over that banding, and then the banding is lost as you did fill it. So when you fill it down, you can see that the banding is gone. So you have an option. Sometimes you get this tag here, which allows you to select fill without formatting. So that way it just fills the trend line, not the formatting behind it. So fill without formatting, and then you can see that it doesn't fill the formatting. Okay, so you can also change the Sparkline. Whenever you select the Sparkline, you have an option to go and change the formatting. So you select the Sparkline, go to Sparkline here. You have an option of, you have different set of styles. You can show the high point, low point, negative points, all of that in a Sparkline. You can even change the Sparkline style. So let's go and change this Sparkline style to Sparkline style dark number 4, which is right over here. Sparkline, black Sparkline style dark number 4, very next to that Sparkline which we are already using. So let's select that. So we have the Sparkline style like that. All right, so let's also go and give it a bit of indentation here. So A31, A32, we're going to indent it using the indentation here. Okay, so we're going to go and click on this, select this, and then we're going to apply the indentation here just once. All right, so let's go and do what is called a goal seek here. Let's say the salesperson here wants to make, let's say, a sale of $60,000 for the next 6 months. So based on that, we can calculate if the sale is going to, the commission is going to be 60,000. What amount of sales the person needs to make? So the goal here is to make a commission of 60,000, and then find the sales that is needed to achieve that commission. So you can use a cool feature in Excel called goal seek. So to do goal seek, you need a number of things. You can see that if you carefully notice, there is nothing on the cell B36. Now there is this average commission rate there. So average commission rate is 2%. That I think that is calculated by 2.5% and 1.5%. It's an average of, we have 2%. Okay, estimated gross commission here is calculated by multiplying B37, whatever the value in B36 multiplied by B37. So that will give you the gross commission, right? And then net commission is going to be the gross commission times the net commission percentage. That will give you the net commission. So we have a bunch of formulas here. So what we need to do is we want to get a net commission of 60,000. That's our goal. And then to do that, what should be the value here? So that's a goal seek question. So to do this, you go to data, and then what if analysis, and then we're going to select goal seek right there. And when you get open goal seek, it asks you a few questions, right? What is the cell you want to set? The cell that I want to set is this cell. That is the net commission. Okay, that is the cell I want to set, and I want to set it to the value 60,000. That's my goal. I need a commission of 60,000 for the next 6 months. So by changing the cell, so my question is, what should be my sales? So you select by changing the cells that B36. Now this is the one I want to change and find out what at what sales I will get a commission of 60,000. So we have all the values given correctly. So set cell B39 to 60,000 by changing the cell in estimate a 6-month sales total. So once you have that, click OK. Now observe carefully. Once you click OK, observe carefully what is happening over here. So it gradually increases the sales and finds out the right value when it goes to 60. So it does gradually increases the sales total to find out when it reaches 60,000, it stops. Okay, take a look at this. Click OK. You can see that. Okay, there you go. So you need a sale of 3.5, around $3,529,000 to get a net commission of $60,000. So go ahead and click OK. So it's asking you, it has found a solution. Do you want to accept it? Okay, so we're going to say OK. So if you say OK, it's going to accept that solution. If you say cancel, it will undo that. Okay, so we're going to say OK to accept that solution here. So you have that solution. So that is called a goal seek. All right, and then in cell B40 here, we're going to add the report date. So you can use a now function to give the date, a current date. So this gives the current date plus the time. So this is the date and time according to my computer here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to change this short date. So if you go to home, you can change and select this short date format. So that's going to hide that time here. So every time you open this worksheet, it's going to show the current date. And then finally, we are going to create a clustered column chart based on the values in the range A30 to G32. So values in A30 to G32. So that's our range. So it's very important to select the range when creating graphs. And then once you select the range, A30 to G32, we're going to use a recommended chart. So let's go to insert, and then we're going to use this recommended chart option. And then you should be able to see the very first one is a clustered column chart, right? And then we're going to go and click OK. And then we're going to move this chart to its own chart sheet. So to do that, you select the chart, make sure the chart is selected, the handles are visible. You go and click chart design, you click on move chart. So we're going to click on move chart and ask you where do you want to put the chart in a new sheet. Just make sure you select new sheet, and then we're going to give it a name. So that's our chart name. Click OK. And in the chart, we are going to change the chart title to sales take a look at, as you type, take a look at this here. the formula bar. That's where you're actually typing. And once you finish typing, press enter. It should update your chart title. And then we're going to go and add the axis title. So to do that, we know how to do that. We're going to go and add axis title. So I'm going to check here so that it adds both the title. So this is going to be commission. Let's do that one more time. And this one is going to be months. All right, so once we've done that, done with the project, you can go and upload it. Thank you.